Hello and welcome to this episode of Thoughts from a Tree. Are you online? Yes, this is a play around with words. It first started, I was writing an email, I just wanted to tell people what was available online. Let's talk about, are you actually online? Is your body online? And I'm just going to go into all of what this means. But basically, an online body is a body that's electrically charged in the right way and is doing the things that it's meant to do. In terms of circuitry, it means that it's working in the correct circuitry. So basically, there's a push-pull action in your movements. It's commonly seen and easiest to see in your gait pattern. So please have a listen to this Thoughts from a Tree and playing around with the terms online, and basically leaving you with, I think I've come up with 5 very simple, easy things that you can do straight away. Don't need any planning for it. You can just get out and start doing it to make sure that your body is online. And we'll talk a little bit about how you can assess, or how I would assess, see whether you're online, and kind of a little bit further into the things that we can do more of a kind of one-to-one basis, therapeutic basis. But really what I want is that you can go away and do some things straight away from this. So this is Thoughts from a Tree. Have a little listen.
So our bodies are based on a bioelectrical signaling system. When this is at its best, things work brilliantly for the body, and things are what we have already discussed is online. Now, we want our bodies to be online, and you may have seen kind of the images of better connection out there and then underlined with no Wi Fi. And this is kind of a little bit what we want to hint onto, that when there is a lot going on, and I don't just mean kind of the signaling that's out there with Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, all other sorts of stuff. What it is there's so much going on, so the system gets heightened and heightened and heightened. So we would see that as being stressed, and this kind of lowers the chance of our bodies moving in the way they're meant to move. Because everything's just at that point that it's heightened. There's too much passing through, and it can't do what it wants to do. This can also happen through injuries, where it kind of affects tissue, which affects cells, which affects whether things are working in this circuitry. What we want are things to be firing in the correct ways, so that we've got that relax and kind of excitation happening at the same time on opposite sides, which is measured through a gait pattern. So, as stated, the test for this would be to just measure whether, when one side is excited through tapping or touch, that at that point the other side is inhibited or relaxes. So we generally do this on arms, just to give it a test. It's a very kind of simple looking test, but it tells us a whole lot. If this isn't kind of firing, if that's not happening, then there's one simple thing that we kind of do straight away. But other than that, we look at different options that you can do to make sure to see if, what if you're just slightly wired at that point? What if there's too much input and you just need kind of bringing back to the kind of the resonance and the electrical potential of what our body is meant to be. So basically, we're just going to look at a few of those things to see, one, if you're doing them, and two, whether you feel better from doing them. Because at the end of this, even though these tell us things, and we can then, especially as therapists, kind of start to work in different areas. So especially if you've got injuries or weaknesses or problems in certain areas, that we need your body to be online before we can really start treating that and seeing any benefits. But yeah, really what we want is that you feel better, because that feeling of that kind of, feeling better gives gives you what you want. You're generally doing well if you're feeling better. It's generally a very good sign that that things are right. So it's a good simple test on that. So here we have strange fella wandering out into his yard. So a couple of things straight away. No shoes on. So earthing is one of the best things to do to make sure you're staying online, simply because you are connecting right into the Earth's electricity. Depending on where you live, these doesn't always work the same. If there's electric kind of loads of electricity passing under your floor, then it makes a bit of a difference. If it's a man-made floor as well, there is certain points of that is not great. Best thing would be actually out on grass or mud. The second thing I did right there was to drink some water. Keeping your cells hydrated will help you stay online and help you be a better bioelectrical signaling system. It's getting weirder now. He's starting to tap himself and rub himself. So basically, this is working on a whole host of things. This is one of the things that personally I do just as a daily basis. So you're working on very many systems here. This one that I'm doing right here is a specific kind of lymph system work. There's Tucker. And done by Stop Chasing Pain. But it basically helps with everything. It helps flow happen. So when you are correctly flushing your system, you have got a better chance of things flowing through your body better, and therefore electrical charges happening. Also, it's skin contact and tapping on the bone contact that helps. So that's 3 right there. Number 4 is breathing. Having a nice breath work that kind of helps with your life. So breathing in, breathing out, throwing a bit of posture there as well to help benefit that. Number 5, we look at this, a bit of movement. So I've used a bear crawl here for a video because I was videoing it for something else, but it works perfectly because it's complex enough for it to train your brain, but not overly complex that it's definitely not doable. There's different variations of this. I've not shown them all in the video, but you can rock instead of crawl. But also, as you can see, it's a gait pattern. So you're literally training that gait pattern and keeping it fresh in your mind in novel ways. But in terms of exercise, yes, complex exercise would be a good one to kind of keep that body online. But also just exercising in any way. So it can be a simple CV kind of running, walking, and such. And yeah, that's your 5 top things to take away and do. Like always, I try to keep these videos quite short. But if you do want to know anything else on this subject or further from the subject, then please do kind of subscribe to the YouTube page. Go online to Ball and Fitness. There's a whole host of kind of memberships now that you can go. You can simply get on there, subscribe to the website, and you're on. Or there's paid ones for workouts, classes, one-to-ones, experiences, and all that. So go ahead and check those out. I've hoped you've enjoyed this kind of brief touch on being online. And once again, just to leave you with earthing, so contact skin on earth or on the ground, drinking water. So there's a lot more to hydration than just drinking water, but it's a simple thing we can do that most of us do need to be better at. We have got the kind of tapping or rubbing. So those points I used there. So collarbone, neck, armpits, shoulder area, abdominals, the top of the hips, so the kind of hip flexor region, and then back of the knees, followed by some jumping, which again increases piezoelectricity, which is the electrical circuitry that you get from movement or impact on the bones. There is different ones. What I would do when you start with the tapping, just be aware that it can make you feel a little bit weird and odd when you first go, because you are starting to flush out the system. There are other ones and simpler ones that you can do, and maybe you might just want to kind of look at the jumping first rather than the whole tapping or rubbing. But I think as long as you're aware of that, you could feel a little bit iffy after, usually fine to go ahead with. If you're a bit worried, I'd avoid the neck area and just go for collarbone, shoulders, abdominals, hips, and knees. From the next one was breath work. So just kind of nothing special, just breathing nice and relaxed, and just being regulated in that breath work. And then finally, the movement. It's the obvious answer to everything, isn't it? The movement is in there all the time, but it is key to keep our bodies working as we should. I hope you enjoyed this Thoughts from a Tree. I will catch you next time.